Hey everyone! Before we dive in, thanks so much for stopping by and watching this video. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you won't miss any of our money-making tips and inspiring side hustle stories. Now, let's get right into how one guy turned his backyard into a $1,000 a month cash machine. When people think of side hustles or new ways to earn passive income, they usually think about starting an online business, flipping products on eBay, or investing in crypto or stocks, but few would ever imagine that the simple, quiet backyard behind their home could be turned into a source of stable, monthly income. And that's exactly what happened to Derek Monroe, a 35-year-old middle school teacher from Sacramento, California, who now consistently makes over $1,000 per month just by renting out his backyard on weekends. And no, it didn't take a ton of money, no renovations, no permits at first. Just a simple idea sparked by an innocent question from a neighbor during a barbecue one Saturday afternoon. A question that would change his perspective on what property really means and how every inch of space has value if you know how to offer it to the right people. Derek had always been the kind of guy who kept his backyard clean and welcoming, not fancy, but nice. Trimmed grass, a few string lights over the patio, a fire pit made from bricks he scavenged off Craigslist, a second-hand wooden picnic table under a giant maple tree, and enough space to hold 25 or 30 people comfortably, maybe more if you squeezed in a few folding chairs. And he liked hosting, he loved it actually, and his friends loved coming over too. So when his neighbor Jessica, who was planning a baby shower, asked if she could rent the space for $150 instead of booking a cramped restaurant room for $400, Derek said yes without even thinking, and the day went smoothly, so smoothly in fact that Jessica posted pictures online, tagging him, and a few days later Derek received a message from a friend of a friend asking if they could use the backyard for a birthday party, and that's when the idea clicked. What if this was something real, something scalable, something that could generate extra income while he slept in on Saturdays or graded papers inside while people celebrated outside under the maple tree? And from that moment, Derek started thinking more strategically. He created a listing on a site called Peerspace, which lets people rent out locations for events, and he uploaded pictures of the backyard during golden hour when the light made the space look even more inviting, described it as a relaxed, private outdoor venue perfect for birthdays, baby showers, micro-weddings, and casual gatherings. And even though he wasn't sure anyone would bite, within 2 weeks he had his first paid booking. $200 for 4 hours, just to let a group of friends use his yard for a reunion, and suddenly it all seemed very real, because that was almost as much as he made in 2 days of teaching, and he hadn't lifted a finger, except to unlock the side gate and point to the power outlet. But over the next few months, Derek began improving the space bit by bit, nothing expensive or flashy, just thoughtful little touches like hanging more lights for nighttime ambience, building a DIY wooden archway for photo ops, buying a few sturdy outdoor chairs at Home Depot, even installing a Bluetooth speaker that guests could connect to, all of which helped his listing stand out. And soon he raised his rates to $300 per event, sometimes more depending on the number of people, and started getting booked almost every weekend, often in advance, especially during the spring and summer when outdoor venues were in high demand. And it wasn't just the money that felt good. Though the extra $1,000 plus per month was incredible on a teacher's salary, it was the fact that people were making memories in his space. First kisses, birthday toasts, surprise proposals, baby name reveals. It made him feel connected to his community in a way he hadn't before. And eventually he began to partner with local vendors too, like a friend who ran a taco truck and another who did balloon arches, offering guests optional event packages that boosted everyone's income. And then came the local magazine article, then a TikTok video that someone posted that got over 100,000 views, and suddenly Derek was getting messages from people across the country asking how they could do the same, and so he started a simple blog explaining his process, listing costs. Spoiler: it was under $1,000 to make his backyard event ready, giving tips like how to handle noise complaints, talk to your neighbors first, what kind of insurance to get, how to manage bathroom access. He rented a clean portable toilet for $75 per day when needed, and soon that blog had affiliate links, and the affiliate links were earning him money too. And now, 2 years after that first baby shower, Derek still teaches, still hosts events in his backyard, and now earns nearly $15,000 a year just from people renting his outdoor space. With minimal effort, low stress, and zero debt involved, and he often tells his friends, if you've got a backyard and no one's using it, you're sitting on potential money. And maybe that's the most beautiful thing about Derek's story, not that he got rich overnight, but that he looked at something he already had, something most people overlook, and saw opportunity, and instead of being overwhelmed or skeptical, he started small, learned as he went, treated people kindly, and now he's built something simple but powerful. A backyard business that doesn't just make money, but makes memories. But of course, it wasn't always smooth sailing. After a few months of weekend events, Derek started noticing the wear and tear on his grass, little brown patches from too many feet, cups occasionally left behind in corners, the trash bin filling up faster than usual, and once, a group had a DJ who brought giant speakers and cranked the music way too loud, leading to a knock on the door from his neighbor Mr. Patel, a kind but easily annoyed retired pharmacist who just wanted peace on his Saturdays, and Derek, being thoughtful, knew he had to tighten his system if this was going to work long-term, so he created a simple rulebook for guests, started using a Google form for bookings that included required checkboxes for sound limits, cleanup duties, and time constraints, and offered 2 tiers of service. Standard use for quiet events and premium bookings for higher volume ones that included a noise monitor and optional security, which he outsourced to an off-duty police officer he found through a friend, and it worked. Things got calmer, more structured, and guests appreciated the professionalism, which in turn led to more 5-star reviews, more word of mouth, and a growing local reputation that earned him a spot on the city's list of creative hosts of Sacramento, alongside people renting out art studios, yoga barns, and a converted school bus. But what Derek had that many others didn't was heart, a genuine interest in making people feel welcome, and that translated into every detail, like the way he'd leave fresh citronella candles out to keep mosquitoes away, or how he created a chalkboard welcome sign that guests could customize, small touches that cost almost nothing but made the experience feel personal and elevated, and the income began stacking not just month to month but year to year, until one day he realized he had made over $20,000 in 2 years from his backyard alone. And while that might not sound like life-changing money to everyone, to a public school teacher with student loans, a used Toyota Corolla, and a modest lifestyle, that extra income gave him breathing room. It meant fixing his leaky roof without taking out a loan, it meant flying his mom to visit from Michigan without worrying about ticket prices, it meant finally buying the guitar he'd been dreaming about for years without guilt, and more than that, it gave him confidence, the sense that he had something valuable to offer outside his day job, something of his own creation, something he could expand or slow down depending on what life threw at him. And speaking of life, there was also Melissa, a wedding photographer who came to shoot an elopement in Derek's backyard and ended up staying to chat afterward, sipping lemonade with him as the sun went down, and a few weeks later they were texting, then dating, then cooking together on quiet Tuesday nights when no one was renting the space, and sometimes she'd help set up chairs or string new lights, and it all started to feel like more than just a business, more than just a hustle. It was a lifestyle rooted in community, in simplicity, in the joy of sharing what you have. And then came the rainy season and bookings dropped, of course, because no one wants to throw a party in mud, but instead of seeing that as a loss, Derek took it as a signal to evolve, and that winter, he invested $2,500 into a 20 by 30 foot canopy tent with removable walls, bought secondhand from a local event planner shutting down her business, and suddenly he could offer covered events even during light rain, and that changed everything, because while most outdoor venues were seasonal, Derek's backyard became a year-round option, cozy and weatherproof, and by year 3 he was making closer to $18,000 annually, still part-time, still from home, still with no employees, just good systems and better boundaries, and one day, sitting in his now slightly upgraded backyard, sipping coffee under the string lights while Melissa edited photos on her laptop nearby, Derek realized he had accidentally created something rare, a business that didn't take over his life but rather enhanced it, a rhythm that fit with who he was, where success wasn't about scale or domination, but balance, warmth, presence, and while friends urged him to go big, to turn it into a real venue, buy land, build a full wedding space, hire staff, maybe even quit teaching and go full-time. Derek hesitated, not because he lacked ambition, but because he'd already found what so many chase, the sweet spot where income, freedom, and fulfillment meet, and for now, that was enough, more than enough. In fact, he often said that the real value of the backyard wasn't just financial, but emotional, spiritual even, a reminder that you don't have to wait for perfect timing or huge capital or viral fame to build something meaningful. You can start with what you already have, even if it's just a patch of grass, a few chairs, and the willingness to open your gate.